We'll take another look at the weather in the next half hour. Joan?
All right, thank you, Spencer. Right now it's 10 minutes after a stormy sea off Cape Cod, Massachusetts, windswept beaches, an old sea captain's house. What better setting for a suspense novel? And it's exactly where a ghostly tale of a mother's guilt unfolds in Remember Me, the latest psychological thriller from Mary Higgins Clark. And the book is already climbing the New York Times bestseller list as usual. And the queen of suspense joins us this morning. And because it's Take Our Daughters to Work Day, and because she's a very, very big fan of Mary Higgins Clark, my oldest daughter, Jamie, is my co-host for this part of the show this morning for the interview. And you obviously took your daughter to work with you since she also became a writer.
Yes, I saw her last night, trying to finish her last book.
Oh, all right. Does she ask you for tips?
Well, we talk. She and I say, read this, and she says, I don't think he'd have said that. And she'll say, I'm doing this. And I say, I think that's good.
Now,
it's good.
You always have the psychological exploration. What's going on in this book? It's not just a ghost story.
Oh, no, it's not a ghost story. In fact, everything has a rational explanation. Except I believe that Mehetabel has been there all this time, for 300 years, quietly sitting and rocking the cradle.
Aha. Cape Cod. Why
Cape Cod.
Cape Cod has a special meaning to you, right?
I always loved Cape Cod even before I got there, Joan. In fact, I did an environmental show, and there was something about the Cape, and I thought, save it till I get there. I'll help. It's wonderful up there.
But you've been wanting to put this into a book for, I don't know, 20 years or so
I started it 20 years ago.
You mean you actually started the journey of this
Remember,
book?
I called it Remember House then.
So 20 years this book has been in the writing?
And the yellow paper's all crumbling where I had written on it, you know how it falls apart? And I just couldn't tell the story. And I put it aside, and 10 years ago I started it. And I couldn't tell the story. I didn't know how to get a handle on it. And last year my editor said, I want you to do a book, Michael called it, with psychic overtones. I said, Michael, I've been trying for 20 years. He said, tell me about it. And I told him. And he said, the reason you can't tell the story is because. I said, of course. And here we are. We called it Remember Me because it's not a Gothic. It's a suspense story. And it was fun to do. It really was fun.
But it does have those ghosts in it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you write about them like they're real. Do you really believe in ghosts?
I really believe there is such a thing on Canby as a presence in a house. And in those old houses, I have perfectly sensible people say, there's a presence in this house. I know it. I sense it. I heard footsteps once. I saw a fleeting glimpse of someone go by. I say, you nervous about it? Oh, no, it's a very benevolent presence. It's okay.
So you're talking about in real life, you've talked to people in order
Oh,
to...
absolutely, Joan. I mean, my house isn't interesting. It's great. But it's about 50 years old, 40 years old. So that's not going to, you know, no ghost there. Maybe I'll be the ghost in 200 years.
You say accuracy is very important in your books. How do you research ghosts?
Well, I talk to a lot of people who claim they have had them. I've read a lot of where there is a presence and how it would react. And again, you don't have to believe it. It doesn't depend on it. But I kind of believe it. And the psychic explorations, the book says that if there has been a tragedy in the house, the walls may contain it, and the presence will be there until it can be acted out. And that was the theory I started on 20 years ago.
Huh. I understand that congratulations is in order because you just won an award for working with children.
Yes, we work from the National Arts Club, going around to the schools, and I brought in 10 mystery writers, and some people came in from television to talk about television, some from the arts, some from sciences, and I just loved teaching in those classes. I was in the 4th grade. Those kids were so smart. We were planning our own story.
See, no, that's another version of kind of Take Our Daughters to Work. I mean, you're going out into the schools then and getting them excited.
And getting them, and we planned a story, and I said, let's write a story. And everybody started one. And then the next time I went back, we talked about it, read a short amount of it, and talked about what was going to happen. And it was a lot of fun. And one kid said, well, my sister and I, the bandits came and they attacked the house, and I grabbed my sister and we hid in the woods, and I went back. My mother was dead, and my father was lying on the floor bleeding, and I said, let's get out of here. And I said, well, didn't you stay and help them? No, 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 they might come back.
Now, Jamie's written a lot of short stories. Now, do I understand that you're working on something that's a collection of...
A collection of short stories, yeah. I have one continuing character, Elvira, the cleaning woman who won $40 million in the lottery. And now she and her no, not her ex-husband, Willie, an ex-plumber, are going around solving mysteries. And I just love Elvira, so I'm doing a series of stories to come out for Christmas.
All right. Well, it's been lovely having you here. Right now, everybody can buy Remember Me.
Thank you, Joan. And you keep writing, Jamie. Think royalty checks.
Thank you.
And save all those stories that she's writing, right?
Every word.
She saves everything in the computer, so maybe someday they'll all be put together.
Don't throw one of them out.
All right. Good to see you, Mary.
Good to see you, Joan. Jamie.
And thank you, Jamie. All right, after a break, tips on redoing your bathroom when Good Morning America continues.
% were used for consumer packages, including Zune. In Japan, raisins are in fierce competition for grocery store shelf space, not just as an ingredient in other foods. Out-of-hand eating and snacking is not yet as popular. Less than an ounce of raisins per person in Japan are eaten out of hand in a year. But with advertising and promotional support, the group hopes to increase snack consumption by 5,000 tons within 5 years. On the last day of their trip to America, the Zune Group had a chance to have an open and frank discussion with key raisin industry members. Since agriculture, particularly raisins, make up a large part of Central California's economy, the Zune Tech Tour didn't go without notice. Japan imports 25,000 tons of raisins annually from the United States. They use most of that for baking, not for eating raisins as a snack like many of us do. The California Raisin Advisory Board would like to see consumer package sales in Japan increase. That's why this tour of the Del Rey plant is taking place.
We've estimated that the average Japanese eats raisins in packaged form about 22 grams or less than an ounce a year, and that's about 1/15 of what is done in the United States, and we're trying to turn that around.
American raisins are sold to the Japanese in 30-pound boxes. The Japanese then repack them for sale under the Zune label. Members of the Japan raisin marketing industry are learning how to package raisins into even smaller units so they can be sold as snacks.
And we want to take the bulk raisins and be able to dump them into their machinery in a very smooth fashion so that it moves along in the packaging cycle. Whether that means new machinery or whether that means we should oil coat the raisins, we're not sure yet.
Most Japanese raisin packaging facilities are very small compared to plants like this, and the size of the equipment here surprises many of them.
Because this is a very big machine, we can't see that kind of machine in Japan. Because Japanese factory, most of Japanese factories are so small.
This group will be here through Friday learning as much as it can about raisin packaging and marketing. Then it'll head back to Japan to try to crack that raisin snack market. Near Del Rey, Brian Ziegler, the 10 o'clock news. The group appeared on nightly news programs of local television stations and were featured in an article in the business section of the largest daily newspaper in the San Joaquin Valley. Every attempt was made to show the Japanese group that they're buying free-flowing, easy-to-pack California Zune raisins and that they're getting the best tasting raisins possible. Already, a container has been sent to Japan which contains a variety of raisin carton sizes treated with different percentages of oil for testing. This information will help facilitate the Japanese repacking process. The repackers return to Japan with a renewed determination to provide their consumers with the best quality California Zune raisins possible.